Having no members of the public, we will skip public comments. Number 3, agenda review. Under 6, we're going to add an F, program studies, and a G for the 217 info night. All right, number 4, we have minutes of the previous meeting from January 20th. Okay, we'll have those ready next time.
That is not Sandy's fault. That is mine.
So number 5, we have board reports. Is everybody okay if I move student rep report first? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Hunter, for the student rep report.
All right. I have a pretty quick report today. So most of this is going to be about Winter Carnival. So our theme this year is first responders. Freshmen are EMTs, sophomores are firefighters, juniors are police officers, and seniors are military. We're bringing in professionals from each field to look over our decorations and our skit, to have a community involvement and make sure everything's appropriate. We're planning our Spirit Week. We started planning some more after-school Winter Carnival events, like our snowshoe race, which is going to be after school February 17th. Overall, all the classes are super excited. We've started all of our decorations, so I've heard. I think scripts were due a few weeks ago, so everyone's on top of that as well. So that's pretty much it for me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments? You're welcome to stay, or you can absolutely go.
Yeah.
On to principal's report, and we will start with Miss Gary at Hill School.
There we go. So not a ton since the last meeting. We did have our curriculum night, and we had 56% of our students were represented. So I think that's pretty good. Last year was 58%, so it's pretty close. I'll be sending out a feedback form for families to fill out for those who attended and those who didn't, to just kind of see what else we can do to get people out there. Our 4th graders had to complete NAEP testing, which I think Three Rivers will be doing in March. You guys got lucky to do it later. But we're done with it. They got a compliment from the proctors, because NAEP, they send their own people in and they proctor the test, and that they did a wonderful job with that. Our 3rd graders went to the Discovery Center. It matched with their Wit and Wisdom unit on space. So they have kind of, a lot of the grade levels have really tried to match their field trips and activities that they're doing to go along with the modules that also align with the literacy and in many cases science. So it's been really cool to kind of watch that shift over the last couple of years. We have it's called Talent Show. I'd also say variety show for March 5th. So our kiddos come in and they can sign up to show any talent that they wish. It's absolutely adorable. I never know what it was. I had to blow up balloons today for somebody's. So we'll see how that goes. And so we have Miss Chapman and Miss LaRose screen all of them. And so this week they get to screen and make sure that the kiddos are all prepared for it. And then on March 5th, if you would like some entertainment, I think we usually have like 60 to 80 acts, and they're 30 seconds each. So, and it moves every 30 seconds. So that's a lot of fun. And then kind of just the last thing for us, I know I've mentioned a lot about our End 68 Hours of Hunger, but it's really kind of taking off. We had Dairy Queen and Concord contacted Crystal Gordon, our guidance counselor, with a donation for $2,992 to end 68 Hours of Hunger, but it directly goes to Pembroke Hill School, the money that Pembroke Hill School uses. So it's not a direct donation to us, it's to the End 68 Hours of Hunger, but it is only used for the students at Pembroke Hill School. And that we didn't know that was happening. They just happened to pick the Pembroke Hill chapter for that. So the other thing they've done is they started a Facebook page so that they can get the information out and kind of help with some of that additional fundraising. But that's been really cool because we definitely have where we want to go and being able to provide more for families in the future. But we want to make sure we figure it all out and get it rolling and bring more people on. I think for the most part, that's Hill School. Yeah, it's NAEP testing. Forget, do you know? I don't, it's a national, yeah. This is a federal, like this, yeah, this is a, it's blocked for 2 hours. How long did they take? Nope. If they have students who have accommodations and stuff like that, like we have, they make us go in and put in accommodations for students and stuff like that. But other than that, the kids do sit and go through it. They don't pick all of the, like 50 out of our, yeah. We do it every 3 years. I think, they say random, but it's they randomly pick students. But we have to do it every 3 years.
And how do the kids like, for an hour and a half for like elementary age kids, they start bouncing off the walls or?
Actually, they,
Yeah.
I had that group that didn't like it, but the kids did really well. All of it. Some were disappointed that they didn't get picked until they found out what they were doing. You had a little bit more fun. Okay.
I'm sure.
We don't tell them that ahead of
Yeah.
time. The kids do really well. I think they, ultimately they know that it's like a one-shot deal. Even when it comes to SAS, they do wind up testing for longer periods of time. If kids need breaks, but I don't think they overutilize it too much. I think when push comes to shove, the kids do sit down and they do the best that they can, and it's not all the time. So they definitely, I know it does. It seems like they're coming up all the time.
I was just wondering, the time frame, how long it takes, just because, they're little kids. They, it's like they do something for 20 minutes, a half an hour, then move on to something, and, so I didn't know how that would impact them, or if while they're taking the testing, if they just got, I remember
Totally depend. Yeah.
that stuff on C.
Yeah.
You
I think I'll. Yeah.
helps it.
Anybody else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's good.
Oh,
They don't care. think there's a lot of groups of. There's probably something to be said about comparing them to eighth graders anyway. So there's that.
Graders are their own.
All right. We'll move on to Miss Gagney over at Three Rivers.
We don't have a ton going on either. We have both of our basketball teams are in the playoffs this week. Boys, I think, might still be playing as we speak. Their game started at 5. So I did shoot out a text before the meeting started to say, like, hey, keep me posted. So I haven't heard if the boys won or not yet. Girls will play semifinals tomorrow. And then if they make it to the finals, they play on Thursday. We had our 2 winter concerts at the end of last month, and those went smoothly. And it's always so great to see how what we hear when we're walking around the building comes all together when they perform the pieces that they play. So it was nice to hear those groups put all those smaller practice sessions together to make a cohesive piece. Tomorrow in 6th grade, we're celebrating World Read Aloud Day. Mrs. Jenna celebrates this annually. So several TRS staff members kind of sign up to be guest readers in her classroom over the course of the day. So that will be happening tomorrow. Mr. Gridley and the UA team are hard at work planning our February festival. So that's going to happen the Friday before February vacation. And Mr. Gridley is really the organizer behind it, but has a lot of support from his UA team. So they've been putting all of that together and starting to talk about that in classes. We were able to provide a tour for a representative of the New Hampshire School Funding Fairness Project. Jess and Melanie joined us on that tour, and the article has been published. It looked like a really great article. It spoke very highly of all 3 of our schools, so that was kind of nice to see the end result there. And then I just wanted to make sure to give a big shout out to Mr. Coughlin and his facilities crew. They've had, I think, quite the month, the past month, given our weather, whether it's, a couple inches, several nights in a row, the ice, the big storms. They have been working their tails off to make sure our sidewalks and buildings are ready for kids and staff. So kudos to Josh and his crew.
Thank you. All right. And then we have Mr. Hamilton at Pembroke Academy.
Well, thank you. I've got the program of studies tonight, and I'll just say before that, to build off of what Hunter is saying, we're all looking forward to Winter Carnival at the end of the month, which has been described as better than Christmas. If you see any of the skits, please don't judge me on my acting performance or acumen. Doing the best I can with what I got. Yeah, so as far as the program of studies goes, it's significantly lengthier than it has been in years past because competencies, which is really one of our big points of emphasis over the past couple of months, was to add those course competencies or to competencies just to provide a greater understanding of the knowledge and skills that are covered within each course and provide a connection to state standards and their alignment. The other points of emphasis that I would share with you is one, I know after Jess's survey that went out to families in the fall and just kind of conversation about what we do offer at Pembroke Academy, while we could never necessarily meet those wide variety of interests that students may have, there are existing pathways that students could potentially pursue those pathways through extending learning opportunities. So what I made an effort to do on page 16 was just to highlight, both the program, the process that you would go through, but also some of the topics of studies that students have recently undertaken. This is just in the past 3 years, kind of looking back at what students have done. It's pretty interesting, the range of topics that students have covered. There's aquatic biomonitoring, there's botanical illustration, electricity fundamentals, horse showing, library services, and plants, real estate. So there's really a wide variety of things that students have done, both as independent studies or as job shadows. We really tried to highlight the job shadow internship a student of ours is doing over at DRC Automotive, but there are many other types of studies that students have undertaken through this pathway. So while we might not offer it as an existing class here at PA, or it might not be something that's offered through the CRTC Center, there are opportunities for students to work with their counselors to find a supervising teacher and kind of develop this topic of interest of theirs. So I wanted to highlight that. Another area worth mentioning that's new within the program of studies is the outline of student services and the work that our school counselors do. This was something they had done sort of advance and in preparation for the NEASC accreditation visit, was to outline how their curriculum aligned with the 3 domains of the American School Counseling Association. So they've outlined how they serve students from an academic, college and career, and socio-emotional standpoint. So that's worth looking through. But those really are, I think, the 3 new highlights that I wanted to draw to your attention. Some other finer details on page 2 of the report that I shared with you are that we did make an effort to align our existing to the new state standards, the new Ed 306 requirements. All of our English social studies course offerings meet the new requirement for logic and rhetoric. That is a topic of competency that covers across the board. So we're not asking our students to take a standalone logic and rhetoric course like we do with personal finance. But any student who passed English social studies course will effectively meet that criteria for the logic and rhetoric requirement. I noted that personal finance is moving from social studies to the business ed department. And then I also wanted to note that one of the topics of interest that families wanted to see offered at Pembroke Academy, in addition to an in-house driver's ed course, was the opportunity to be first aid and CPR certified. We don't have any plans at the moment to have that be a standalone course, but rather we'll incorporate it into our adult course within the life studies program. I think Ms. McGinley has done that in the past. One of the differences here is that Mr. Kleckner, who PE teacher, is a certified first aid and CPR trainer. So he may push in and support Ms. McGinley with this unit. And if there's an interest among the students in the class in becoming certified, maybe something we pursue next year. Next, I'll just run through, very quickly. We have 7 new courses that we're offering next year. They're all within the Life Studies, Arts and Tech, and World Languages department. They are also all elective offerings, and we're hoping that those will align with student interests and provide more opportunities to them. While sometimes we have limited options for freshmen, 2 that I'll call attention to are Carving Your Future, a new woodworking class with Mr. Bernard. And then in addition to our Exploring European Cultures course, which is now expanded to Expanding Francophone Cultures, is Exploring Latin American Cultures. So for both students who may have an interest in taking French or Spanish, but might not quite be there yet at the start of their 9th grade year, they'll have that option to explore French and Spanish languages before enrolling in a Spanish one or a French one in 10th grade. Otherwise, we're adding a Cooking Essentials. So Steps to Healthy Cooking is just undergoing a name change to Cooking Essentials 1. So students who want to continue in that topic of interest may take Cooking Essentials 2 as a junior or senior. There's a Carving Leadership course that Mr. Bernard is offering as well to juniors and seniors. Music Studio is effectively replacing Piano Studio. So Piano Studio, which we offered this past year, I think we had one student enroll, which is kind of limiting. Studio is much broader to student interests. There's a digital portfolio that'll be available to students. And then I believe Career Spanish may not be new, but a returning class in addition to the Exploring Latin American Cultures. We have 4 courses that are not running this coming year. So there's a survey of British literature, an elective course, which will not run this year. The American Experience, which is connected to social studies and English and needs to be taken concurrently. Those 2 classes will not run this coming year. And Piano Studio, as I mentioned, is being replaced by Band Studio. And then the other area to highlight, kind of gets buried in the science course offerings, is there's an outline there of the science electives that are offered this year, ranging from pre-engineering to wildlife biology and marine science to those that are offered next year, which will include botany and ecology. So that's just a brief summary really of like the highlights and notable changes to the program of studies. Like I mentioned, it's really dense, 75 pages. If you were to peruse it, the table of contents are not yet tied to those sections. So if you were to click on something, it might not bring you to the appropriate page. Once it's approved, we'll go in and change those links. So if a parent, guardian, student were looking through that, trying to get to something quickly, they'll be able to do that. So I'm not looking for any action or approval tonight. I'll give you a couple weeks to look that over. And then if there's a motion, we'll look to approve at the next meeting in February. Happy to answer any questions or clarify anything now.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, facilities report.
Yeah,
It's in the drive.
Josh wasn't able to make it tonight, but he did leave a report for in the drive. Couple of quick things. Our elevators all passed inspection for our yearly inspections, so that's good. And he also gave a kudos, as Katie did earlier, to our facilities crew, and just mentioning all the incredible work that they've done over the last month. Last month's been very busy. Curriculum nights, drama productions, meetings, concerts, and athletic events, and all the snow removal and the mountains and mountains of snow that they've had to make. So just thank you again, reiterating that to all of our facilities crews. So
Thank you. Move on to the exec board report.
So we have not had a meeting since we as the school board last met, but we do have a important meeting coming up next week on Wednesday. We will be doing a exec board, AREA, and a full SAU board meeting. And I encourage all of our members of the school boards in the SAU to attend. We have some big things to discuss, and we want to make sure we have everybody's opinion and that we also have a quorum. That is at the exec board meeting starts at 5:30. AREA is at 6, and then the full SAU board is 6:30 here in the library.
Are you doing them all here in the library?
Yes.
Okay. I just realized NBC's not on there. I briefly looked at the agenda. You can go ahead. I can add it. You can.
All right, so our last meeting at NBC, we voted on all the warrants presented to the budget committee. All of the warrants that we that had money attached to them were voted on by the budget committee. All passed unopposed, 10-0. So that's a great thing. There was a lot of discussion. Jess was there, I think, 3 weeks in a row. So there's a lot of discussion leading up to it. We had some more discussion, voted on 2 different days, last 2 weeks ago, Thursday, and this past Thursday, to get to this point. Budget Committee really understands that the administration did a great job of explaining the budget and also of keeping the budget manageable. There's, the drivers that increased the budget, they understood were beyond the control of administration and the school board. So they had, kudos pretty much for everybody that had worked on the budget. And our next budget committee meeting is on Thursday after the public hearing, where both the town and the school budgets are presented to the residents. That'll be at 7:00 in the PA auditorium.
Questions? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Superintendent report.
I included this month a copy of my report that's going to be going out to all the town reports so that you guys could see ahead of time what was going out to the towns. And this really just kind of recaps some of the work that has been going on this year across the SAU regarding policy changes and updates, strengthening of culture and climate, continuation of the culture and climate survey. This will be our third year doing that survey. So we'll have finally a really good data sample to look at to see trends and things like that, to reflect on some things that we can work on. Increasing and enhancing cybersecurity. Obviously, open enrollment has been a big topic over this past year. And then continued refinement of our teacher evaluation system.
Questions? Comments? All right, thank you. We will move on to 6A, open enrollment.
I don't have any updates from huge updates. The leadership and I have met a couple times now to talk about kind of next steps. I had shared a document with you, Melanie, that we'll be sending out to the public. I just have to finalize that draft and get that out to the principals. Supposed to do that earlier today, but a lot has come up. So I will get that out either tonight or early tomorrow. So there'll be communication going out to families around what happened at that vote at the meeting last week and what some of our next steps are. And that will be true no matter what legislation passes. We are going to continue down the same road because we will need to do the work anyway. So our next steps are not going to change, even if there's legislation that changes the law for open enrollment and expands it, because we will still need to do that work.
All right. Any other questions? Comments on open enrollment?
What do we need to do?
As far as
Well, you vaguely talked about things we
I
need
did
to do.
vaguely talk
And
about
here's what I would imagine we need to start thinking about process
Yeah.
for reviewing deadlines for applications should they come in.
Yep.
You
So I
know,
can tell you the
things of that. I mean,
Yeah.
if some of this is not ready, that's fine. But
Yep.
I'm just kind of getting my head prepared for
Yep.
reviewing things.
So the major next steps are communication out to the community is number one. And then establishing enrollment criteria and establishing cap numbers for next year, which will come before the board when we're buttoning up some of those things. So that'll come probably at our next meeting. I have the recommendations from our principals, and I'll bring that with us for next meeting, along with some of the formalized, semi-formalized next steps documents that we'll also be getting community input on. There's a link in the community communication that will take them to a survey that if they would like to be a part of providing input on anything open enrollment for Pembroke, input on admissions criteria, anything like that, just so that we can get a broader scope of input and perspective on some of that decision making.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We have another public comment section coming up. There's one at the beginning and then there's another one coming up. Huh? It's up to you guys. It's the board decision. It's up to you guys. You can ask a question. They said it's fine.
Come on up. Can you stand at the mic? Yeah, just because we do record. One of the best ways is to be in contact with your local reps. We have a couple representatives who are active members in that legislative process, but also New Hampshire legislators have. Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we've talked in the past many times, and I don't know if maybe you could work on this for us, Jess. We've been wanting a place on SAU 53, like other websites have it, where you can go in and subscribe and put their email address there so that people in our community who don't have kids connected to the school, if there is a push out of information, that they get it too. You know what I'm talking about?
I do, but a lot of our information is pertinent to student families only, and wouldn't be for the general public to consume. Because it might have to do with student activities that are going
Right.
on or parking permits
Or we need to figure out a way that we have like an email listserv for our public hearing, our March meeting, open enrollment, we're building
Yeah.
a school, we're closing a school. That's
Yeah.
never happening. But that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
I think we rely on this kind of like hybrid of there's a little social media thing, there's
Yeah.
a website with all the it's one of these things where it's like the information's all there. It's just a question of
Exactly.
is it accessible? Do people know where to find it? That's the hard part. And I think I spoke with you about, do we set up, not to say that we need yet another platform, but there might be a better solution, frankly.
Right. Where
than-
somebody could
than
put their
those
email
social-
in
Yeah,
and they would get a
and
reminder.
anything that we post would just get pushed instantly to them.
Hey, Cinderella's
I
at
can work
PA.
on that, but
Yeah.
that's, I would it's kind of a blessing on that.
No. No, it's a good thought and it's been brought up. So thank you very, very
I think
much.
currently it really is the school board's Facebook page is where a lot of that direct communication goes out, which is also listed on the website. So it's really, if you're looking for up-to-date information for the board and just all the school communication, the school board's web or Facebook page is really the best place to see that information. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Mm-hmm. Right. Well, and I think you made a good point, right? Of like, how much are people looking for that, right? Like, you have to actively look for that if you want to be informed. Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We can work on that, Ken. We can figure that out.
Well, at some point it would be great to have one local page like we had talked about, a platform that does it for all of our districts. Yep. So,
Absolutely.
and I have a bunch of notes to keep in mind for July 1.
Thank you. All right. I'm sidetracked. Where am I? All right. B, warrant articles.
So just making sure that there's no changes. The draft or the current draft that's in the drive has the word draft taken off of it. It reflects the updated budget committee votes on there and removal of the open enrollment warrant article that was on there previously, but is no longer needed because that was already passed. And then we have a school board meeting scheduled for the conclusion of the public hearing on Thursday, in case you guys need to revote on anything, if there's any changes to the budget. From the NBC,
Yes.
After the NBC meeting.
after the NBC
Okay.
meeting, yes. Yep.
So you take a nap during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it starts at 7, so.
Just a question that kind of ties that with the open enrollment question. If it comes to pass that legislation comes out declaring full open enrollment, no limits, we would then need to revisit the budget, correct?
At first thought,
I don't know how we
know. Right.
Well, I'm just saying that it strikes me we would need to put something in for planning purposes to signal, at least to the taxpayers, that there's a potential that we would be needing to expend funds in that area.
So we do have a new line in the budget.
I understand that this is
Okay.
what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Right. So anyway, I want to just kind of put that out there. I have thoughts on this, but they're incubating.
I don't know
but
if you can adjust that after
that's my question.
Right.
Right.
once it's solidified and voted on. There's a deadline that we have to submit all warrants by, and it would require the NBC to meet again, to revote on those, redo a public hearing if we're adjusting our budget. I don't know that we have time to do that. We only have 3
Okay.
weeks.
And I think, well, since they've announced that delay
in the vote.
in the
Is
vote,
what I'm wondering.
it's unlikely that what I read, it's unlikely that anything will happen before February 12th, which means probably pushing out a week. And my guess is they delayed the vote because of the input that they got. So
So
that
if they
can-
delay a vote and then they say that the vote, sorry, it was maybe too weedsy for this part of the meeting, but they delay the vote and let's say they take a vote, they pass it, but it's after the period of getting all the warrant articles approved for town meetings here and elsewhere. I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah.
There's no way to go back and put that money back in a budget,
Right.
right?
Correct.
So I think
Unless you have a
we'd
special
be in
meeting.
this weird limbo.
So there's already the mechanisms in place, and Jean hit it right on the head. If we get to that point, and I guess why I'm not too worried about it is because if we get to that point where we see huge flux in the budget because of it, we would have to hold a special meeting
Right.
to raise and appropriate funds if we were in the hole.
Okay.
So, and where we already have that line in the budget, we already have somewhere where we can put those dollars to articulate
Yeah.
open enrollment
Yeah.
expenses.
Yeah, I guess this would be maybe the right time, maybe I guess, for me to just kind of put out there my thought that we ought not just simply try to move money around, right? If there's going to be specific expense in this area, then I don't care if the money's there or not for it. I think we should have a special meeting so everybody knows what we're doing. I'm just going to put that out there, right? Because it could be the case that we can say, oh, well, we can cover it from over here, or we can take this over there. I think that would be a mistake because that's not what they appropriated the money for.
Right.
So,
Well, it boils down to when we go to that meeting, whether that law is passed or not with this budget, anything after that isn't what they voted for.
Correct.
So day
Do a
one,
public hearing.
Yeah.
Yep.
so.
Yep. Yeah, and I agree. I don't think we should just transfer funds back and forth to cover anything. I think we overexpend that line at completion and then bring that forward and be clear about why that's overexpend. Which we do anyway, unless the board approves a line transfer for something. We will overexpend a line, which you guys have seen many times in the monthly budget reports from Amber.
We've seen it in the past in other lines. Yeah. Anything else on the warrant articles? No more. No, just kidding. All right. C 27 school year calendar.
So that's been uploaded into the drive. This is your second glance at it, hoping for approval on next year's school calendar.
Motion to approve the calendar for next year for school year 26-27.
Second.
Any questions? I don't either. Where's that?
It is what it is.
It sure
I mean,
is.
this is we try to align it closely with Concord for our kids that go to CRTC. This has been vetted by leadership. It's been vetted by our union. So I think everyone that's needed to get input on it or felt like they had something they wanted to contribute had that opportunity to do so.
Wait a second. They're gonna go back to school before Labor Day? No. I thought that this is set that they're gonna go back to school before Labor Day, but I thought we did a huge thing with the union and that the district was moving forward, that we were gonna stick with after Labor Day.
Labor
No,
last Monday.
no. This is going, we've historically for the past 3 years have not started school until the day after Labor Day. And that was input from the teachers and the teachers union and parents and families. And I just noticed that, and we were coming back that Tuesday after Labor Day.
Well, the union didn't say anything.
And so I'm not inclined to approve this because we did a lot of work with,
What's the,
So that'll throw our end date till the end of June, June 25th, which would not be good.
and the union
Meant
didn't
for
say
many
anything and the teachers didn't say anything.
Correct.
It's probably one of these things where just the way calendars work, whenever Labor Day lands on the 7th or the 6th,
Yes.
it gets really hard not to start before.
And I think it's because they didn't want to go to school until almost July.
That's the issue.
Because you have to give on one end or the other because of the way that the dates fall. So
unless I'm looking at this wrong. What day is Labor Day?
which is late,
That's very, very late.
That's as late
Oh,
as
I
it
got
can
you.
be,
All right.
actually.
which is why that's starting so late.
7th.
Wow, yeah. I looked at that completely different.
Didn't even notice it last time. Hate everything about that.
Yeah.
Just gonna say.
I mean, in past years, people have been here. Has it been the case that the last day of school was as late as the 25th or the 26th?
No,
Definitely not.
Like
Yeah,
the
that's not what I've
17th.
thought either. Like
there was
it's
a couple that hit
Like even
20,
20
but
is late.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
not that far.
I mean, this can't be the first time
No, I'm sure it's not the first time. It's just
that Labor Day's fallen on the
Awful.
7th. It happens every.
I don't remember the last time,
right.
and I don't think any of us. Well, maybe
I was going to say
Jean was the only one on the board then.
You've been here 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. And Concord's going back to the 31st.
Yep, this aligns with Concord's schedule.
It doesn't align with my life
Your
whatsoever.
children can be absent.
I know that. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying.
Just call them in.
I know. That's horrible. But I don't want to be here till July either.
Yeah,
so.
you got to put it on one end or the other.
Well, there was push at one time. Remember that they were going to make it state law.
Yeah, I think that was actually this year. They were trying to do.
Yeah.
Conversation was happening. Yeah.
Go on Saturdays.
I know. All right.
You'd have 4
Any
weeks to
other
go all summer?
grumbles about that calendar? Just me. I know. I would rather get rid of the April break and
Do 2 weeks in
I know. Look at her. She's like, no.
That was suggested several years ago, but by someone who grew up somewhere that didn't have it.
Midwest does that a lot.
Yeah.
They
No
actually
April
start
break.
earlier in
start
August,
earlier.
like Cole Brown kind of, and then they're out in like May.
They have a week in March.
Yeah.
A lot of the South. does.
Yep.
Yep.
Or there's schools that they don't do February and April, they do 1 week in March.
Yes. Yep.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
All right. I got 'em all.
I know. I know. I know. All right.
There's a motion on the floor.
Yes, and it was seconded. So any other discussion? No. All right. All those in favor of approving the calendar for school year calendar 26, 27, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Yes.
I go text my kids and tell them to come back.
I can't get Christmas again for 3 years, man. Okay. I know. All right, we'll move on to March meeting, D, March meeting planning. Why is that on the agenda? Do you? I did?
Maybe talking about
I think you just wanted to talk about.
your slideshow, maybe?
Oh, that's not for March meeting. That's for the budget.
Yeah, that's for budget hearing. But is there anything that did you guys want to plan to who was going to be presenting at March meeting?
I assumed I was doing it
Okay.
again. That's what we usually did, unless
Right.
somebody else would like to.
Those are the that's I think what
Yeah.
we need to talk about.
The only thing that we need is, I do believe it's Andy's screen that usually comes here, so I'll reach out to him. That white screen that he leaves is, I think it's his.
Okay.
Josh will put it up. But we don't have one, the big one in
Okay.
the gym. Andy usually will drop it off somewhere and Josh will set that up.
And will you do the whole presentation? Are you guys going to be switching back and forth between wards? How do you, because each town does a little different.
So what I did, usually historically it's been the school board chair and I don't mind doing it again. I covered last year and I'm planning on doing the budget hearing. Run through the slides and then usually sit down and let everybody ask their questions. And then we sat at a table.
Hmm.
You were there.
Yep.
And allowed whoever, whether it's Amber, you, or a school board member wants to answer a question. I guess, I think it went okay, but I guess I'll ask you guys. If there's a warrant article that you're really passionate about and you want to add a separate slide, and we can just plan that ahead of time. Somebody really wants to. The only thing I would caution with that, I'll just say this and I don't mind saying it out loud. Last year, I did get a lot of compliments for making it very simple, not too many numbers, not too many details, because you lose people with big charts and too many details. And then when they get confused or they've lost what the point is, they just vote no. So I did get a lot of compliments, as simple as possible, explaining what we need and why and what your drivers are is better for the overall person.
Handout too, right? We had some graphics on
Yes.
just one page, two-sided thing. We did it both at the information session
Yes.
and And I think that was helpful
Yes.
because they could at least have
Mhm.
that blanket to hold on to.
I think it was just like the slideshow, wasn't it?
It was just a
It was
couple of, it was basically a couple of
Yeah.
grabs, not the whole
Yeah,
thing,
not-
but it was a couple of key grabs.
It was just, do you remember? So it was definitely the budget summary. Those first save, yep, like the 7 pages. What is it? 7 pages. It was definitely that.
For this Thursday or for March meeting?
It was for budget hearing too, didn't we? Didn't they had the budget summary?
Because we do have that planned for this Thursday,
And we
is
did
to
it
do the info sheet. And we're not going to print out the whole budget, but what we're going to have is a QR code that people can scan to get right to the website. So we're not wasting,
Yep.
hundreds of dollars on paper copies.
But you could also do that for a handout
Right.
too.
I would still think that we should do the 7-page budget summary because it really
Yeah,
breaks it
we can-
down.
Yeah,
I would do
have
that.
planned for Thursday. We'll
Yep.
do the budget summary.
And we did it in March too.
Okay, we can do that.
Yep.
And then the rest of it, like the actual budget packet, be available on a QR code because the budget
Yes.
packet's like over 100 pages.
It is. Yeah.
So, and that's a lot.
Because if you look, so pretty much last year, the budget hearing and March meeting were the same documents, pretty much. Yeah. And it really is just those first, the charts are included. It's 9 pages. Amber's budget summary that has those. Yep. That one.
This one?
Yep.
Okay. We can copy that for March meeting.
Yeah.
Just that 2-pager back and front for March meeting? Or is this what you want for Thursday at the public hearing? Because we have a budget summary.
That's what we did. That's last year's
Yep.
public. That's what we had. Yep.
Do you-
And then I think they had this, right, for March meeting?
This is what we have prepped for public hearing,
Okay.
is that.
Okay.
Is Amber's budget summary.
Yep.
But then we could do this for March meeting because it's a 1-pager and that'll be a heck of a lot easier to hand out to people than a packet.
Fine.
Does
That's
that
fine.
make sense?
Yep. I remember throwing the graphics on that.
Okay.
It's all coming back to me.
Okay. Yeah, this kind of covers all those big ticket things that people
Yep.
need to know.
I agree with that. And then the QR code.
Less numbers of people that come.
Correct.
All right, let me write that down so I don't forget.
Does that work for everybody?
Or February 13th. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. NBC requested us not to include the MS-27 in our handouts on Thursday. We usually do that,
Oh, yeah.
but they felt like we didn't need to include
Yeah.
it. So Amber's not going to include the MS-27, but what we'll do is we'll link it on that QR code with the full budget packet.
Yeah.
So that way people still have access to the MS-27.
Okay.
Okay.
Does everybody feel okay with that?
I just don't understand.
Yeah, I didn't.
I don't understand why there's suddenly this pushback on it when we
Saving
put it in
paper
here
was
every
the,
year. What'd you say,
it
Gina?
was saving paper.
Yeah.
That's basically what
Oh,
Yeah.
I
the
thought,
argument
You're still
was.
going to have access to it.
I thought Mark was objecting to having it just for
Whoa,
for
no.
number
No,
reasons.
And then
No,
they
you're just
print.
saying don't include it in the packet. Save,
Oh.
time and resources and those kinds of things. But we will put it in the packet that's available online.
yeah,
Yep.
that's
They print the tax impact thing. We don't.
Correct.
Correct. We're not in red. Is that?
we're not.
No, I don't think so.
That's on the town report.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, it's not in red. Someone listen. No, because usually the school shows up
I
red.
see, I understand.
We've made a plea every. Dave continues to put us as the red section in the pie chart on the back of the counter.
Oh, like, don't do red. Purple. There's Hunter Green.
Only red, yellow, and blue, okay? Or green or whatever the heck it was.
Sure.
I can't think of anything else that.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Yeah, if you think of anything, I'll just reach out to
Yeah.
Amber and I.
I think that's a good idea to
Yeah.
do the QR
Okay.
code thing.
Squirrely through.
All over the words tonight.
I know.
I'm shocked.
Let's hone
Let's
in here.
keep
people.
going.
Let's get
Carrie wants to
focused.
get out of here.
So do I.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right. E donation. Donation.
Would you mind speaking to that? Okay, great.
So TRS has a family that approached me a few weeks ago and was looking to donate 2 pottery wheels to our art room. And our new art teacher is super in love with that idea. So I gave that family the go ahead, and they gave us 2 brand new pottery wheels.
Awesome.
Are they
Do we
okay with
technically-
public notoriety or?
Sure.
Okay.
I didn't ask, so I'm not sure.
Well, thank you to that family. And if they're okay with it, if you want to ask between now and then, we can mention their name publicly at the next meeting.
We like
Yeah,
positive.
Okay. I'll see what they say.
Do you need us to
Yeah.
take out you? We don't need to do anything, right? For
I should want to.
No,
That's awesome though.
Just thank you.
Yes. Thank you very much. F program studies. I think we did. Is there any more on
Eric
the
was
program?
efficient.
Yes. That works.
Do you have anything additional that?
Okay. All right. G, we have our information night, which is February 17th, we think, which is our next school board meeting. So what I wanted to ask is I will find out from the library tomorrow, but there's a conflict on Tuesdays because there's 2 different groups that rotate on Tuesdays. So he was going to ask the small social group, because it's a small group, if they could use one of the other small rooms in the library. And he was going to call me tomorrow afternoon and let me know. If that doesn't work, the other option is to choose another night, but it can't be a Tuesday. And I would need to ask one of you guys to run it because I don't know if I could get the night off because I have a lot of February off. Or do you guys okay with being a plan B that we do it here and still have the remote option for asking questions and just do it in the library? I mean, in the PA library, if the Pembroke one is not available.
The link.
Yep.
Yeah.
We did it through Google Meet last year. We created a Google Meet, and Carrie probably can help run it or whoever. And we just opened it that way, like a normal meeting, but people could chat a question and then they would interrupt off and on. And pretty much it's the same thing as the budget hearing, just going over that and then opening it up.
I think there we can do it on the platform that we already use if you want it recorded.
That would be great. We kind of just,
Because I can just make it an option that people are allowed to chat and type and.
Okay.
I'm fairly certain. I will confirm that, but I'm fairly certain.
okay. So are you guys okay with that being the plan B for the 17th if we can't get the library? Okay.
And then will we work on promoting that once we know for sure?
Yeah, I can send you, I can text you, send you an email, anything tomorrow. Yep. Yes.
Okay. And I can have Lexi create like a little
She did.
flyer.
She did last year. It's in the drive.
Okay.
I guess I would just need to find out from you first if you want me to do a Google Meet or if you're going to do something because we actually threw the link on the thing that went out to everybody.
Yeah, as soon as you let me know tomorrow where we're going to be, I'll
Okay.
we'll communicate back and forth and I'll let you know for sure about the
Okay. And we still want to do 6:30, right? Our normal time. Okay. Because I did ask for the library, Pembroke Library, 6:30 to like 8:30. And if we do get that, Carrie and I, and if anybody else wants to help, we did just bring like little snacky things and waters and stuff. We can do that here too. All right. 7 is consent agenda. Informational, 8. Good. 9 policies.
And We just move them to a second read. There's nothing particularly
The
problematic.
AC ones are super easy. It's just a
Yeah.
name change.
Yeah.
It's just changing my name to Andra's name.
Saw that. So we can move
You
to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Get 'em
think,
off
do
the
we have to give them two reads? I thought we do.
You have a policy about that then?
I
No,
think
I
we
thought
do.
we do.
I thought we did.
I thought we do. I think we do.
I know.
So we can just move them and then.
Yeah.
Yeah. So move to forward policies
To second
to
reading.
a second reading for the next meeting.
That was me. Sorry. Should have spoke up. For a second.
Any other questions? No? Everybody in favor of moving those to the second reading? Say aye. Aye. All right. Number 10, we have public comments, and we don't have any members of the public, so we'll move on to 11.
So I remembered the other letter. It is J.
Okay.
A and J.
A and J. A and J. And are we coming back after non-public?
No. Just,
Okay.
Just for any adjournments.
Okay. So before we go into non-public, just a reminder that the Pembroke public hearing on the budget is Thursday, February 5th at 7 o'clock here at the Pembroke Academy Auditorium. We do have a school board meeting Tuesday, February 17th, 6:30 p.m. either at the Pembroke Library or here at the PA Library. And there is SAU board meetings on Wednesday, February 11th in the Pembroke Academy Library. 5:30 will be exec board, 6 o'clock will be AREA, and 6:30 will be a full SAU board. Okay, and we'll move on to 11. The board does have the need to go into non-public under NHRSA 91-A:3, Roman numeral 2, small letter A and J, which A is the dismissal, promotion, or compensation of any public employee, or the disciplining of such employee, or the investigation of any charges against him or her. And J is consideration of confidential, commercial, or financial information that is exempt from public disclosure under RSA 91-A:5. Roman numeral 4 in an adjunctive proceeding pursuant to, RSA. That's what I'm reading. J, you said J.
Consideration.
Yeah.
Oh,
Potential commercial.
sorry.
That's it.
Thank you. Done what she said. Okay. It's weird. I do
You need
that.
a roll call.
I'll fix that. On a roll call vote to go into non-public at 7:36. Sharon? Jean? Ben?
Yes.
Yes.
Carrie? And I'm yes.